Hello there, and welcome back to the Mansions. I'm This Old Gamer, and I'm thrilled to have you along for the ride today, as we are all set for another episode, and really the final episode of this mansion series. I know I said last week was the final episode as we built this mansion you see there, but this is actually the final episode, and we're not building a mansion, so it's not really the mansions. This could have been the suburbs, but the suburbs will return on my next broadcast, as I now have kind of an idea of where I want to go with that series. The mansions are kind of a series in a series, as I said from the beginning. So we'll go right back into the suburbs, I should say, like nothing ever happened. You didn't see nothing. Well, hopefully you did see something, and hopefully you hit the like button as well. Now today, what we are working on is we're doing a little something different today. We're actually going to build a park, as if these beautiful estates do not have enough land and gardens and things like that in their own yard. Now they're going to have a really pretty park right in front of their houses. Now we are going to be taking up quite a bit of this land here. We're going to be eliminating some roads, and this is going to take up a pretty good sized footprint, this park. And we're also going to be kind of reconstructing some roads as well. But the main reason I did this park, it's actually two reasons I did it. One is I like making parks, and two, I want it to kind of serve as a barrier between this portion of the suburbs and the mansions and the rest of the suburbs on this portion of the island. I didn't feel like it would make sense, or would it look aesthetically pleasing to have smaller houses right here in front of the mansions. So I just kind of wanted to do something different. Now I used a little roundabout, and I moved off screen from where we're at to put that roundabout down, just to have a circle here to play with, and I'll show you why I'm making that circle in just a moment. There were several decisions I had to make as we went along here. I didn't necessarily want to completely reconstruct everything, but as you can tell, I am having to make some adjustments to the roads to get this park to fit in. And the one thing I didn't want it to be too crammed. So I actually eliminated that one road, reconnected it around those townhouses. And now I'm just kind of setting up the basis to our entrance, or one of the entrances to this park. I'm not doing anything super fancy around these entrances. I'm just using these stone pillars and using these stone prop walls for my fences. Now these stone prop walls will be separated by more of the pillars, as you can see there, and then we're also going to be using like a network iron fence for some of it. So it's not going to just be all iron, or not all iron, but it's not going to be, well, it's not going to be not all iron or all stone. It's going to be a combination of both. Here I'm kind of making a really extra wide curb, and that will come into purpose later. This is right off the main boulevard here, but I figured down the road that would be a great place for a bus stop and some other things. We haven't even got to the point of building the suburbs up. The population has not, flown through the roof, but when it does, we're going to need public transportation. We're going to need a lot of things like that we will be working on, and of course we'll connect those to the train depot that is yet to be built as well. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe for the suburbs I'm really excited about working on. Here you see this iron network fence that we're using. We're just kind of alternating with the stone fence, so it's not just all stone, and I don't know, kind of breaks it up a little bit. Now this roundabout here is the reason I kind of wanted to use this roundabout. I wanted to make a pond. You know me, I like to make ponds. So here we have a roundabout that will work just perfect for a little pond. Now we're not going to keep that roundabout in place, so I'll show you what we're going to do here in a second. We'll put in our little water source. Remember, I'm a water source expert, asterisk, but you should always say before you mess with water, it's just, trust me on that one. You never want to have a situation where your entire map floods, which I have had on occasion. The planetarium! It's underwater! Save and do yourself a favor, just in case. I did save off camera, just in case. Now we're filling this up. I'm speeding it up a little bit to let that flow and get filled up with water, our little pond here. Here I am building a parking lot next to the pond. So we want to have a lot of parking spots here, as this is going to be a very popular park. We're going to have lots of things and amenities to this park. It's going to be more than just nature. It's going to have some places to hang out and cook out and throw parties and things like that. We're actually making it an official park now, as we use our little park overview there. But we're going to add in a lot of different things. We're going to have gazebos, as you see here, lots of little benches everywhere. So it's going to be kind of a little bit of nature, a little bit of modern, a little bit of everything. And we're going to rename it Noble Park, after the park from my hometown of Paducah. Noble Park, Paducah, Kentucky. What a place. So I have this little curve. I intentionally left that curve, and I'll show you here in just a second. We're going to add some rocks and things like that to this area. Here I'm just using the concrete slabs to make a very large sidewalk. As you can tell, it's an oversized sidewalk. We're actually not going to put decals on that. We're just going to let the concrete do its thing, and we'll put some invisible pathways on it and call it a day. That'll be all that we do with that. I'm adding a ploppable concrete circle there in the middle. It'll kind of connect it all, and you can go in every which direction. So here is our rock. It's a very large rock. As you can see, we're doing procedure objects on these so we can kind of get them in the ground and get them where we want them. I'm using just a lot of rock decals and things, and we're just going to kind of cover it with a similar decal as we used across the street there. Being this close to the ocean and this close to the shore, where obviously it's a very rocky shore, we are putting in lots of rock decals and putting in little rocks and different things around these larger rocks just to kind of tie it all together. These are going to be, this is very open. So yes, we do have the sidewalk there going through, but I want it to be very open where people can just kind of walk everywhere and enjoy this park for what it is. Now here we're putting in these pavilions. I tried to find some pavilions on the workshop that I didn't really want them to all be the same, as we're putting in some PPG tables there so people will actually sit on them. I didn't want these pavilions to all be the same. I wanted them to kind of vary. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're putting in a couple of different pavilions, lining them up along the side of these decals, and just lots of little nature type things, adding in a few more tables and stuff. But yeah, these pavilions can be rented for parties and things of that nature. Whatever you want to do. I mean, they're free to the public to use. I say rented, but anybody can walk up to this place and just say, hey, I'm using it. Of course, you got to come early, I guess. But yeah, I think this park will serve a really nice purpose to the community. And more so, we'll fill in some land that I didn't really want to put houses in. Here we have a nice little asset that actually has the pathway built in there, as we don't want it to necessarily connect with the sidewalk there. We'll connect it like so. I'm kind of using these dirt paths, just using Move It to get these segments to kind of branch out a little bit. We don't want them to be just perfectly straight or anything. We want them to kind of be more natural looking. That's the name of the game with this one, is very natural. We have multiple entrances to this park, but I will not be putting in an actual park gate. Although I did use the painter and painted this area, designated it as a park. That was just in order to not have to worry about different assets not working because they're not in a park or whatever message you get. With all the mods I have, I don't understand why that is an issue anymore, but nevertheless it is. So yeah, we've got this little, we'll put that over there so people aren't just walking into tree branches, just like that. Good. Like it so far. Now over here, we're going to do something similar. Well, first off, I'm going to put this gazebo in. We'll have that right there on the corner. You notice we have not done any detailing with the pond. That'll be a little bit later. using these same stone decals, and we're going to do something similar over here, a little bit more structured. And I have this fire pit. Let's see. Yeah. So we're going to put this big fire pit in. We'll put it right up against the back of the wall there. So that's for both of those places to share. That's the idea anyway. One big table for everybody to share there as well. Lots of trees, lots of trees. No entrance right on that corner, but we have an entrance over here, of course, and here is our pond. Love doing water features. If you can't tell, I've done so many over the years. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. It's been years since this channel has taken off. And while we're on the subject, I just want to say thank you. We have hit 300 subscribers. It's quite a milestone for yours truly. I'm very proud of that. Really enjoy communicating with the community and things like that. And I hope you enjoy my episodes and get something out of them. Maybe a laugh or two, or some ideas for your own city. So always hit me up in the comments. Love to talk about City Skylines. If you ever have any questions or anything about the game or something like that that you see that maybe I fly through. I know that I'm not the best at explaining certain things. I probably should be explaining what I'm doing right now, but instead I'm talking about not explaining things. Makes lots of sense. But yeah, love reading those comments, and glad to have you along for each and every ride here on the channel. So now I am not using an invisible path yet here. I'm just using the dirt path. And we are going to put a little dock here, right here off the shore. A little lookout over the pond. I mean, it's not a huge pond or anything, so really we could have gone without having a dock type thing, but whatever. I just kind of wanted to make one. We'll put a little staircase in here since there's no way to get up that high, just like so. Now later I will revolve this dock, as I realize the 2 benches there are facing the wrong direction. So I didn't realize that till later. So for right now, the benches are facing the little hill with the woods. And by the way, that hill at the beginning of the episode is just kind of a barrier to kind of disguise these mansions. One thing I was thinking I wanted to do with this was just find a way, at the same time of making this park, find a way to kind of, I don't want to say hide the mansions necessarily, but give them a little bit more privacy, if that makes sense. But I did not really achieve that necessarily. Well, I kind of did, but not exactly the way that I wanted to. But that's okay. There's a little hill there with some trees, and we called it a day. Let's see. Now, I have this little path. I'm kind of just merging this into the curb there. I'm using these big riverbed rocks that I've used several times on the channel. This is just a perfect scenario for them. You know, picture this as being kind of like a man-made pond that serves a bit of a purpose, because here in a moment we're going to have some drainage pipes we're going to install. But these rocks kind of serve to prevent the shore from caving in, and also possibly prevent people from taking a dive. We don't really want people swimming in this park. We would rather them just enjoy the nature and enjoy the water, and maybe do some fishing. Maybe there's some fish in this. I'll have to zoom in. And so this little part here, I thought this would be a great spot to put in like some little pipes, and kind of using, you can't see it at the moment, but put in like a little barrier over there. We're going to actually put a fence in here in just a moment that kind of tells people, hey, this is not really part of the park you want to go in, but we're using these little pipes, kind of submerging them underground. And this is going to kind of act as like a little drainage area. Just going to throw in some of these bush props, the vanilla bush props that I absolutely love. They're like the best vanilla asset on the game. And yeah, so it kind of looks like that some of the water flow might come from across the street. Maybe the mansions put off a lot of sewage and it goes in here. No, these are not sewage drains. They're just kind of like drainage pipes. But yeah, it just kind of gives this corner a little bit more character. And then let's see, we have a dead log or something in here. Let's see, I think I have a dead log compared to a fully bloomed log. I don't know where it's at. I'll come back to it later. Oh, it's there. I must have skipped it. I should really watch this video before I start commenting on things. Here we have the fence that is hopefully going to prevent some people from deciding to go over and play around the pipes. I also put a little chain link fence right there with the pipes. Oh, we don't want that light color. We want, yeah, there we go. We want that one. Okay, cool. All right, it's starting to come together a little bit. I'm not real big on this pathway being the dirt pathway. I kind of should have probably done invisible. Maybe we'll change that because it looks so much different from just the surface. So I could use the surface painter. Could do that. I tell you what, let's just actually adjust this. Let's just turn this into the invisible path. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll just move this over just a tad. Yeah, so the pathway kind of just starts right there by the dock. There you can see that little chain link fence in the corner there. I'm gonna actually do a little bit more terraforming. So there we go. That works a lot better, I think. Oh, that darn terraforming sound effect. I just never can get away from it. So here we have an amphitheater. An amphitheater in the park. Very common for a lot of parks to have amphitheaters. It's a place you can come and you can just go up on the stage and just yell at the ducks, or yell at anybody that might listen, or you can do a play. You don't actually have to yell. But I thought this would be a nice little corner piece to add here. Just to kind of add a little something different to this park. Noble Park in Paducah does have an amphitheater. I don't know if anybody ever uses it for anything, but it is there. That's for sure. Now, I'm going to come off of this amphitheater with, first off, we're going to actually do some decals here. We're going to make a little pathway here that leads up to the front of the amphitheater. We'll throw in a curb just because it fits rather nicely right there. Throw in these little purple bushes. I like those bushes a lot. And then we're going to stretch this sidewalk over, and we're going to use this little piece of land over here for something a little bit different that I just kind of thought it would be perfect in this spot. We're going to kind of set up like a farmer's market, just a little outdoor shopping type thing where the locals can come out. I don't know if a farmer's market is an international thing or if it's just the United States, but basically this is just something that a lot of cities do randomly. Anybody can come and sell produce, any other type of goods they want, as long as they are legal in the continental United States. Yeah, they can sell whatever they want, do, set up a little booth, that kind of thing. Flowers, food booths, things like that. So this is actually a strip of little outdoor businesses. This is part of the vanilla game expansion, the eco-friendly buildings. Both of these are actually, and they look great for a little marketplace. We're just kind of scattering these amongst this little concrete area that these businesses set up for. There's kind of like a more permanent building there, but as you can see, these other ones are mobile, so they can move wherever and adjust to the settings of this area. So anyway, the farmers market though, you really can find a lot of good stuff for really cheap. I mean, generally you can get vegetables and fruit and things like that at a very low cost, a lot lower than you can at the supermarket. So I thought this fit just really well in this situation and gives people more of a reason to come to the park. It's not just nature and things like that. They can do a little bit of shopping. We have a couple of little kiosks here that I'm throwing up. We're gonna put some smaller trees as if this was kind of a newer part of the park, like so. Let's see, what else do we need over here? If we can just do that. Well, how do we want to do that? Tell you what, we'll just kind of re-angle these so they're not just so, yeah. Yep, like that. Yep, over like there. You go there, and yeah, and you adjust. Oh, detailing. Why did I ever become a detailer? It'd be so much easier if I just built super populated areas and called it a day. Oh well, that's fine. Let me just do this here. I'm losing my mind. Here are some outdoor potties. I like these. These are part of the park DLC, I believe. Part of the nature reserve set. I really like how those look. They look more, permanent than, say, a porta-john. Or a porta-john is poor wording, isn't it? A porta-potty. Well, here we have a little food truck. We're going to put that right there against the curb. A little flower bed. All sorts of little details to go into this park here at the end. And I think this will be a great place for everybody to come and walk around, have a nice time, get some fresh air, look over at the mansions and think, if I would have worked just a little bit harder, I could be living there. Well, that about does it for this episode of The Mansions. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed building it. I want to wish you and your family a very happy holiday and a prosperous new year. I love you all very much. Thanks for all the support in 2021. I will be back real soon. I'm This Old Gamer. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.